We take a look at the market internals using the NYA and NYSE. NYA can be considered the New York All Index or ARCA, and NYSE is the New York Stock Exchange minus all the other instruments like closed-end funds, ETFs, bond ETFs, etc. We'll take a closer look at the NYA to SPX ratio, basically value versus growth. And it looks a little different with a close-up view. We're looking back to 2021 to present day. You can see in March of 21 that value had peaked at around 4.0. It was up in this area here that I said value needs to break through right here, and it actually did hit 4.0 on that day and then backed off. And that's when we rotated and started buying Microsoft and the likes of that and lightening up on value a little bit. But I'm a value investor for the most part, and I didn't lighten up on value that much. I just piled in some more big growth stocks like Microsoft. You can go back to this era, beginning of 2023, and look for the NYATC chart, meaning top caller, and you can review that from the beginning of the year. And we knew the value play was truly dead in the dust when it broke this line here for growth. And it just broke right below that. It tried to get back up that day, and then that was it. And here we are present day with everybody truly excited about the AI stocks. And the New York AD line is doing pretty good. It definitely rectified that negative divergence with price and now has an upwards trajectory. And the ratio adjusted McClellan breath oscillator here didn't improve that much. It never did rectify the divergence, sort of like the NY8 SPX, but it's the AD line for the New York that carries the most weight anyway. New York McClellan breath oscillator for the ratio adjusted is slightly above zero. And here's a zoomed in view of the current price situation. A big M has formed. You can see down here. That's what you want, a nice long leader up, and then almost equal B, C, and D, E lines here. So now we wait to see if it can get under this horizontal blue line here, about 15,450. And again, this is for the New York ARCA or All Index. Get back above this resistance line here of the rising peaks and get a close above that for at least 2 days, maybe 3 to be safer, and we'll negate this big M pattern. And the New York ratio adjusted summation index for breadth here is at 341.81, so it's doing pretty good. It's trying to climb up to 500. Same thing with the ratio adjusted volume summation index of the McClellan volume oscillator. It's at 468.92, so that's climbing nicely and staying above zero for an extended period of time, and doing it in a reasonable manner, staying above it, not like this where it just blasted above it, went too far too fast, and the rest was history. And our SI 14 bounced right off of that 65 line in green here and headed down, went below its 21 EMA signal line. and I reconfigured the on balance volume and came up with this falling wedge pattern in dashed red. So it's stuck in there, but it is above its 21 EMA signal line here. And the ratio adjusted McClellan volume oscillator and the stocks only volume oscillator here in these two top windows are showing negative divergence to the stocks only AD line here, and the stocks only ratio adjusted McClellan breadth oscillator down here. I put an explanation of the lines in black and red here that you can pause and read about. And the intermediate term volume oscillator for the NYA is nicely above zero and kind of having a little bit of up and down. Same thing with the intermediate term breadth oscillator for the NYA. They look about the same. They're both above their 10 simple moving average signal lines in blue. You can see in the thumbnail here. And ultimately, again, I've mentioned this before, we want the intermediate term volume oscillator and breadth oscillator to look like these two examples back here in late 20 and 21, where they did not go below their zero line here in dashed green and just kind of had a nice up and down moves and just stayed above that. So if and when that happens, we're going to be in pretty good shape. And the instruments above their 200 period simple moving average in the NYA ventured above the 60 line here. I was kind of hoping it would just stay in the 50 and simmer down and bounce around in there like it did between the 40 and 50 here before it broke out. But that wasn't too bad. A little bit of a foray above 60 here a couple of times. And it looks like it wants to get back above it. It is above it a little bit, so yeah, okay. Spent a little time in there, maybe the 60 and 70 zone, nothing wrong with that.